Today's history lesson will focus on Apollo 13. Apollo 13 was a NASA mission launched on April 11, 1970, and the objective was to land a manned spacecraft on the Moon in order to explore the Frau Mora area. However, a series of events led to complications and near disaster for the Apollo 13 mission. There were three NASA astronauts aboard the spacecraft: Fred Haise, James Lovell, and John Swigert. Originally, Swigert was a backup command module pilot for the mission. However, the first issue of the Apollo 13 mission arose when the crew and backup crew were exposed to German measles. At that point, the command module pilot, Ken Mattingly, had to be replaced by Swigert. The Apollo 13 mission started off normally, and the crew maintained contact with NASA at their Houston launch site. The crew of the Apollo 13 even completed a television broadcast to show the living conditions of the crew and wish the audience a good night. 9 minutes after the crew's television broadcast, an oxygen tank exploded in the command module. This caused the oxygen in the crew's only other tank to quickly deplete. At this point, the service module was leaking massive amounts of oxygen into space. At 9:08 p.m. on April 13th, Swigert made the famous distress call to NASA, announcing,
Houston, we've had a problem.
The three astronauts aboard the service module had to evacuate to the lunar module and operate the lander as an escape vessel. The lunar module was designed for 45 hours of use, but the crew needed it to last 90 hours. Although the move to the lunar module solved the crew's oxygen shortage, there were concerns that the astronauts would run out of water. They also needed to conserve energy to make it back to Earth. The crew survived by conserving water on the lunar module so that the cooling systems would function upon re-entry through the Earth's atmosphere. Because of the limited supply of rations on the lunar module and the need to conserve water, the astronauts suffered dehydration and rapid weight loss. Suffering through lack of food, water, and sleep, as well as onboard temperatures around 38 degrees Fahrenheit, the crew eventually landed in the Pacific Ocean and was rescued by NASA. An investigation into the Apollo 13 mission showed that warning signs during the testing phase had been ignored, leading to a wiring issue that caused the oxygen tanks to overheat. So, in summary, the Apollo 13 mission was a NASA operation intended to land on the Moon. The operation was launched on April 11, 1970, and began smoothly. However, a wiring issue that went overlooked during testing led to the explosion of an oxygen tank and forced the astronauts to alter their mission. The Apollo 13 crew had to abort its lunar landing and navigate back to Earth with the limited supplies of the lunar module. Although it was nearly a disaster, the Apollo 13 mission improved NASA's ability to deal with complications during missions. For more information on this topic, contact your teacher.